Hey Hannah, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Spine's nice and straight and on a tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Hold your arms out in front of you and the club works out to the ball. So pretty decent posture here in association with good balance. But if I'm going to work on your golf game, we would revise your posture here, and we would do that by just sort of pushing your tail out and up a little bit, pushing your sternum out, up, and forward. And what that's going to do, it's going to increase the angle to your spine. From here we can keep your legs unlocked exactly as they are. And then from here I need to get your arms hanging down a little straighter. They can still hold out in front of you a little bit, but I need your hands a little closer to your thighs so we increase the angle relationship between your arms and the golf club right in here. Okay? Now this revised starting position is really important, because the first thing is I need you understanding when you swing a golf club that you gotta rotate and build a golf swing off of this spinal position. So right now you're too tall. The other thing we see is that you're pronating and holding your hands and arms up and out here instead of letting them hang down better, and like I said, getting a better angle relationship in this vicinity right here. Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about your posture and why it needs to change, because when we get into the dynamic move of your swing, we're going to definitely see some things. Your alignment looks really good, so we don't need to waste any time there. Let's go right into doing a little split screen comparison between you and Chella Choi. Got some color-coded lines on the screen to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. But before we do, I just sort of want you to pay attention to, first of all, her spinal position. Okay, so her spinal axis is sitting here at about, 54 degrees. Again, yours was a little tall here at 63 degrees. So again, I wanted you to revise that spinal position into something that maybe looked a little bit more like that. Also getting your arms to hang down a little bit more with the club going out, again, which we can see here with Chella Choi. So we can see all the revisions that I was just talking about, and they're not big changes, but when you do make the changes, they are big to the development of your golf swing. Now, when we swing a golf club, let's just look at some of the key things that happen. And you do a really good job swinging the club, but I'm going to get pretty intricate with a couple things, so I'm not going to really waste too much time on swing plane here and what needs to happen to the golf swing, because you're primarily doing it. And I think if you change your posture and your arm position, I think it can really improve the overall preciseness of your golf swing. So if we take a look at the left side of the screen, and actually one of the things I'm going to do is I am going to put the line back up here for Chella Choi, because I want you to understand when we build this entire golf swing, we're creating a rotational movement upon this axis, and that's why I'm sort of repeating myself as it pertains to the spinal position and your posture. So when we bring a golf club back, what do we want to do? Well, we want to turn our shoulders. So we can definitely see that with Chella Choi. Okay? Other thing we want to do is when we turn our shoulders, we want to extend our arms back towards the camera and around our body. So we see her arms, they're extending back and working around her body. So they're not compressing to her core. They're not folding in towards her core. She has good arm extension. Another really important aspect of the backswing is creating wrist hinge. So when we bring a golf club back, currently the club head is below and in front of our hands. And when we bring this golf club back with our turn and our arm extension, we have to create wrist hinge where the club head is now going to go above and behind the hands. So this is a really important move. Club head again is below and in front. We make our turn. Club head has to get above and behind. That is a very important part of the golf swing. And then from here, we work the club from red up to yellow. So what we notice is during that early part of the golf swing, the whole time she's doing this, that club shaft stays right on that red line. and then works up to the yellow line. So while we're creating this turn, this arm extension, and this wrist hinge, we're doing this about a very stable right leg. And not only are we doing about a very stable right leg, but we're maintaining the posture we achieved at address. So look at the spinal position is there, she rotates, and she's still in that exact same spinal position. Okay? So that's why that posture is so important. So let's watch you bring the golf club back. What I'll do is we'll go ahead and mark your spinal position as is. We'll watch you draw the golf club back. So what we see is that, you know, because you're holding your arms out in front of you a little bit, very stiff-wristed with the golf club initially coming back here. Club moves a little bit underneath the plane, no big deal at all. You're initiating with some really good turn. Hopefully we get some wrist hinge right now and we get the club head above and behind our hand. So let's see what happens in the next couple frames. So yeah, so we're getting some wrist hinge in there, so that's good. We're creating our rotation and we're taking everything up to the top. So when we finally get to the top of our backswing, you have good turn, pretty stable right side. I mean, we could sort of, you know, solid up that platform a little bit. It looks like your right leg straightened a bit. It also looks like your weight's fallen to the outstep of the foot. But at the end of the day, we've turned well, pretty stable right side. Arms are in really good geometry relative to the core. Club's in good position relative to your arms. We do see the club crosses the line a little. See how your club shaft and your club head's getting a little to the right of the blue line, whereas Chella, when she's at the top, her left arm and her golf club are pretty much physically on the yellow line right here, okay? So we can see where her club head is versus yours. So you're a little bit out of position at the top of your swing. Now, as we create our transition back into the ball, what we want to do is we simply want to fire our hands. We want to create footwork, which means when we fire our hands and we create footwork, we simply want to come off our right heel at point of impact, keep coming off our right heel, and get up on the toe of our right foot. So that's creating proper footwork from the top of the swing, swinging through. That allows us to get to a good finishing position. So now all our weight's on our left side, hips square around, shoulders fully rotate, hands are high, clubs back and behind us. But what I want you to notice is when she goes from the top of her backswing and she fires her hands and she creates that footwork, notice that her spine is in the exact same position. Again, we're rotating off of the axis we created at address. Now, something that's very important with this as well, I want you to notice from the top of her backswing. See her left leg? See how it's, you know, it's bent. That's where it was at address. Now it's kicked in a little because it's reacting or responding to the fact that we've rotated. But when she fires back into impact, watch what happens this left leg. She's going to post up onto a straight left leg coming through the ball. See her left leg right now? So her left leg has straightened up as she's coming into the ball. So if that leg straightens up, it allows our spine here to still stay down so we can stay into our golf shot. So let's watch you come into the golf ball here. So we'll complete the swing. We've got some good footwork. Knee work's working. Hands are firing. Hands drop. Club head's falling back into good position. And right here, I mean, this is beautiful right here. Your club actually, the club head actually falls back underneath the red line a little, which is better than over the top. And we're getting into impact. But what I want you to notice from the top of your backswing, you did a pretty good job, again, even though your spinal position was too tall, when you created your rotational movement coming back, you created that rotation and kept your spinal tilt. So that's really, really good. But let's go ahead and mark your head right now, and let's watch you create your motion into impact and see what happens. I actually wanted to do that in yellow. Let's see what happens with your spine and your head. So here we go. You dive down. Look how low you get with your head. So now all of a sudden, if we marked your spine is a little bit more in this. Let me undo that. Your spine's on a little bit more of an angle like we talked about we wanted at address. So this is good. I actually like where you are. I just don't like the fact that you dropped from your tall position into here. Okay? So I actually prefer the spinal position and your head much better. Only problem is now your head's dropped so much, the club's going to be closer to the ground if your left leg doesn't post up. So as you're coming in, you've dropped. Now your brain realizes, oh, I'm too low to the ground, and your head starts backing away again. Watch your head. Watch where it goes. It pulls away, 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 and look at where your left leg is as you come into the ball. So it's too bent. So what happens here, look at impact. See how your club hits the ground? So you're almost getting a little bit of a divot there before the ball. See a little splash of dirt coming up? So obviously we don't want that to happen when we're hitting woods. We want to be able to sweep the ball off the tee. So unfortunately our lower body isn't working properly into impact where we're posting up on our left leg. As we get through the golf shot, you actually end up getting your left leg to post up. So see, it starts to work now. So that's really, really good. And you carry yourself through to a pretty good finishing position here. As you come through though, look how much you pull up with your spine though. Right? So your head's pulling away from the ball and your spine's pulling up. So now, when you're done, your spine's in this position. Again, if we go back to the left side of the screen and we pay attention to Chela Choi, spine starts on red, we get to the top of the backswing, we're still on red. We come back to the ball, we're still on red. We get through the ball, still on red. We finish the golf swing, still on red. So the spinal position has never ever changed. And unfortunately in your golf swing we're seeing a lot of elevation change with your spine starting too vertically. We create our rotation, we're still vertical. We then dive into the ball and then we pull away, we come through, and then we pull up again. So there's a lot of elevation change in the golf swing, and that's why setting the posture from the get-go is critical so we can learn how to build a golf swing off that axis and without creating this elevation change up and down, up and down. Okay? Your athletic ability looks really good, your hands work real well, they come back, they fire through. Your core works well, you coil, you uncoil. You've got great footwork allowing you to get through to a good finish. You got good alignment. You're bringing the golf club down pretty much on plane, slightly underneath, but that's not a big deal. Your backswing looks really, really good. Overall, golf swing looks superb, and it could flourish a lot more if we change our starting position that I talked about, and then learn how to build a golf swing without letting that posture change too much, and then just making sure that when we do get to impact, we know how to come from a bent knee position right here into impact and get that left leg posted up better at impact, not after, okay? So that we're not hitting the ground. Anyways, at any point in time you want to fine tune any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. I'll be happy to structure a little program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to give your guests, feel free to reach out and be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, I hope you had a great day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.